Mr. Pavlowski, welcome to the newscast and thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here in Macedonia and great to be on with you.
We have heard a lot of information about your connections with the Republicans before and after the elections in the United States, but can you tell us what is your connection personally with the President Trump and the people from his administration?
Yeah, so I started Rumble back in 2013. I'm Canadian, and we started in Toronto, Canada back in 2013. And it wasn't until about 2020 where we started to get a lot of growth, late 2020, when Congressman Devin Nunes, he was a part of the House Intel Committee, the ranking member of the House Intel Committee of the U.S. Congress. And he actually called me in the middle of summer of 2020, and he's like, hey, Chris, if I bring my content to your platform and I search for my name, will I be able to find it? And I was like, as a Canadian, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, is this an investigation? What's going on? And he was like, no, I can't find my content on YouTube when I type my name. So he brings his content to Rumble. Within 2 to 3 months, he grows from 0 to 200,000 to 300,000 subscribers. And that was kind of the beginning of all this accelerated growth, in particular with a lot of the conservatives in the United States. Shortly thereafter, Dan Bongino came and joined our platform, who's now the deputy director of the FBI. And then after that, in this summer of 2021, we had the current president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, join the platform. So Rumble was just filling a void that the other platforms were not participating in. You can call it censorship, you can call it shadow banning, you can call it whatever you want, but when you have the ranking member of US Congress unable to find his content on other platforms or other search engines, this is a problem, especially an elected member of Congress who needs to get his message out to constituents. So Rumble is filling the void, allowing information to flow freely to US consumers, and that's what allowed us to grow really rapidly in the United States and be the only platform that had President Donald Trump on for multiple different years.
So it's open for everybody and everything?
Correct. Whether you're on the left or you're the right, it doesn't really matter what your political beliefs are. We don't censor and we don't change the dials based on an administration, based on the political winds. We stick to the First Amendment in the United States, which is free speech, freedom of expression, which is also a human right in the United Nations, Article 19 of the UN Declaration of Human Rights. This is a fundamental human right that we believe in. You can't have a democracy without the ability to speak freely. You got to be able to say, I don't like this candidate, I don't like that candidate, I like this one, I don't like that one. So this is kind of the principles that we've grown on, and it's not a political principle. It is strictly a freedom of expression principle, one that even the United Nations upholds.
Yes, but we have seen your photos with President Trump. What about the connections directly with President Trump? How often do you communicate with him? Can you share something from your business with the President Trump? How close are you with the president?
So Rumble is also the hosting and cloud provider for Truth Social, where the president delivers his messages on his social media platform. So we are the sole cloud provider for Truth Social. So we obviously have a great partnership with Trump Media and Technology Group. And that's obviously something that we do. And then we were the only platform during I guess 2 to 3 years of that time period where President Trump was allowed to be on to deliver his message. So in terms of the connection, that's our connection. It's a business relationship with Trump Media and Technology Group, who former Congressman Devin Nunes is now the CEO, and that's the relationship we have. We obviously, I've participated in a lot of events. I go to a lot of events. I know the family quite well, and being in the position that Rumble has been in the last couple of years, you develop these friendships.
And after almost 5 months in office, how do you see or how do you comment the effects of the Trump administration?
So, Rumble just continues to do business as usual. It doesn't. whether it's whatever administration is in power, doesn't really affect Rumble. They have the Constitution of the United States, which is ironclad in the United States, which is the First Amendment. That's the most important thing to us, and that doesn't change between governments. So it doesn't really change any environments for us, regardless of the political scenario in the United States. So, but obviously on our front, it's been a huge tailwind. To a large extent, we were just named the new media partner in the White House. The White House had me over there, and they announced that they opened their channels, and now the White House is officially on Rumble as well, and broadcasting their message and their streams and their press conferences. So that relationship with the government has grown, and it's been very, very positive for us. We're now recognized by the most important government in the world.
So it's clear that you have good connection with the Trump administration, but how good connections do you have with the Macedonian government and Prime Minister Mickoski personally?
So I've had the honor of, I think I met the Prime Minister many years ago, just a short brief meeting, and then obviously in the last year he's been a wonderful host. Obviously, both my parents are from, well, my dad is from Prespa. My mom is from Mariovo. They both come from villages in those areas. And so I have a huge connection to this country. I adore this country. I love Macedonia. I'm a huge advocate for Macedonia. So I want to do everything I can to help Macedonia go forward and become more prosperous and bring as much knowledge as I possibly can. I even invested in a company here in 2011. And we have many employees. Even Rumble has a lot of people here as well. So I'm always thinking about Macedonia and ways to help. And you know, the current Prime Minister has been a wonderful host. He's been very receptive to ideas, and that relationship has been developing over the last year, and it's been excellent. He's a wonderful person.
There is an opinion in the public in Macedonia that, or the public has really big expectations from Krис Pavlowski personally about your help for Macedonia in cooperation with the United States. How can you help?
Well, I'm Canadian, so I'm not American. I guess that's the first point. So there's only so much I can do, but I do believe the diaspora can do so much more to help Macedonia. We have really successful businessmen across the world, Australia, Canada, United States, and I think a lot of them can come here and invest and come here and do a lot of great things. That's been my philosophy. I've done that, and I will continue to do that, and I'll do more. I have a lot of resources. I have a really large business in the United States. We're public on the NASDAQ, and I think more Macedonians should follow that and do more to help Macedonia. It's something. It would be great for the country. It's great for the people, and obviously, I personally care so much about it. And I know a lot of Macedonians. They come here every summer to go visit their villages and visit their relatives. I think there can be more than just tourism. We can really invest in infrastructure. We can invest in businesses. So, you know, as a Macedonian, I would want more out of me. I'd want more out of the diaspora, and I agree with that, and I plan to do that. That's something that I very passionately care about. I think we don't do enough, and I want to do more. So I'm on the side of the Macedonian people. If they expect more, I want to deliver more.
Can you change the percentage of the U.S. taxes for Macedonia? You know, we have seen your photos with President Trump, with Prime Minister Mickoski, and then we have 63% of taxes for North Macedonia from the United States, and everybody was, where is Kris Pavlowski now? Can you do something about this?
No, because I'm Canadian. I'm not part of the administration. I don't work for the government. I work at Rumble. I can only do what I can do, and I can help with jobs. I can help with bringing businesses here. I can help with bringing investment. When it comes to politics, that's not me. I'm not a prime minister. I'm not working for the administration. I'm just the CEO of a public company called Rumble, and I think that's the extent of what I can do. And, I will do the most I possibly can for this country. And I think Macedonia shouldn't really worry about the rest of the world. I don't think it should worry so much about the European Union. I don't think it should worry about any other places in the world. I think it should worry about Macedonia. And I think that, it can be the Switzerland of the Balkans or the Switzerland of the world. I think Switzerland's kind of, been very good at being the perception of being very neutral. And I think Macedonia can do that. And I think they can attract so much and prosper so much, kind of like the way El Salvador has done so well in Central America. President Bukele, who I have had the honor of meeting as well, has done fabulous things in that country when it comes to digitalization. He's attracting the whole Bitcoin and the crypto world into the country. I think Macedonia has that same potential because it can be that neutral country that stays away from all that political stuff and just really focuses on making Macedonia really good and really focused on the economics of the country and raising the bar for the people. And I think that's where the focus should be. I wouldn't worry. As a business person, I like to say, less government, the better. Just get out of my way, and I'll work really hard, and I'll make it happen. And that's kind of the way I like it. And I think that if Macedonia has that kind of same thought, don't expect the government to do everything for you, and just work really hard for yourself and work really hard for your country. It can be an amazing place. I really do. We have one of the most beautiful lands that I've ever been to, from Prespa to Ohrid to Mavrovo. Like it's all over the country. We have beauty everywhere, and I think we can bring economic prosperity very easily here with the structure that you currently have. So I'm very, very bullish on that, and that's something I really want to help do.
Yes, all of us would love to be Switzerland on the Balkans, but as a businessman, what do you think, how far in aspect of development are we as a country for becoming Switzerland on the Balkans?
I think you're a couple legislative actions away. I think that it's actually quite easy. I think if you open up the market to the big, I think banking was a big sector, and it's one of the biggest sectors in the world, and Switzerland capitalized on that. But the new sector that's kind of emerging right now is the crypto world. It's Bitcoin, it's stable coins, it's all this legislation you're seeing America try to pass right now. You just saw Bukele pass it. If Macedonia becomes the first country in Europe to adopt legislation that is pro-crypto and allows these crypto companies to come over here, there's going to be so many people and so many companies in Europe that will leave Europe just to come to Macedonia, in my opinion, just with having good legislation around the whole crypto world. So I think that's a real opportunity. The digitization and the forward thinking around AI and crypto is, if Macedonia can be on the forefront on the legislative side of that, that will naturally attract lots of businesses and lots of people in that world. Dubai's doing a very good job on attracting a lot of these people. El Salvador now is doing a really good job, but there's no one in Europe yet. And I think Macedonia can be that first country. So I think that, with a few I don't know exactly how the things kind of roll through in politics over here, but I do believe that would make a very big impact on opening up the economy to a lot of companies, especially in the AI and the crypto space. Focus on energy, focus on AI, focus on crypto, these three things, and you can have a really prosperous country. You can become the next Switzerland for the future generations.
Mm-hmm. How many people are working now for your company in Macedonia, and what is your plan here?
So we have roughly 100 people working at a company called Cosmic Development in Beetle. I think it's well over 100 people. I don't have the exact number. And, on Rumble's end, we're looking to do a lot more here. So we're evaluating data center capabilities. We're evaluating the energy here. We're evaluating a lot of different things on how we can expand and do much more here. Right now, Rumble Cloud is entirely in the United States and Canada, and it hasn't really branched out outside of that. But one of the things I'm very excited about is potentially but bringing Rumble Cloud to the Balkans and getting it situated here, getting data centers here, and getting it into Europe from here. And I think that's a big opportunity. It's something that's I think very important. We need to spread around the world, and Macedonia would be a great place for us to start. So that's something that I'm obviously very keen on moving towards.
You have succeeded and managed to become a billionaire really young. What is your message for the young Macedonians?
It's a good question. I think I kind of touched on it, but don't look for handouts. Don't expect the government to help you. Don't expect someone else to help you. Everything I've done is not because of the Canadian government, not because of any government. It's because I worked really hard. I worked around the clock, day after day. In fact, you just want less taxes and less government, and just stay out of the way so you can build something great. I think that's the first mentality that I would have for the young kids of Macedonia, is just don't rely on anybody and rely on yourself, because you can trust yourself and work really hard. You're not gonna get anywhere by complaining or thinking someone did something to you. You're going to get somewhere by finding solutions and executing and working hard for yourself as fast as possible. So that would be my advice.
I know that you do not speak very well Macedonian, but I know that you know a lot about Macedonian history. You have become very popular after your post yesterday on X platform. You said, just touch down on the lands of Alexander the Great. After the reply, we shall find his burial site, you said, we will. Are you going to find?
So I have a few friends, and we're going to pool some resources to look for. I'm a huge fan of history. I love archaeology. I love the ancient Macedonian history.
So this is serious reply?
I'm very serious about doing, funding research and archaeology in Macedonia. I am absolutely very serious. That's something that I really very much want to do. I think that's it. I think there hasn't really been much funding for Macedonian archaeology at all. I think it's something that's lacked, and I know a lot of Macedonians, and I know a lot of non-Macedonians that are very interested in helping with that. So I'm looking forward to pooling some money together and putting shovels in the ground and start seeing what's under the ground over here. I think that's important, and it's important to the culture. As a Macedonian, I've had stories being told to me by my baba and my dedo, my mom, my dad, and family member from family member, and I'm sure you have, and everyone else in this country has, and we haven't really put it all together. So I think it's really important that we invest some money in there, and not for a business purpose, but just for just to know and just to see what's there. And I think that they just excavated a site in this, I guess, close to Bitola right now, that connects to Alexander the Great's grandmother. And I think that's important to build on that, because there's a lot that we don't know, and I think the reason why we don't know is that there's been no funding, and I think I'm in a position now where I can fund that and help. So that's something that's really passionate to me, and I will fund that, and I look forward to pursuing these things. Whatever we find, we'll see. But obviously, I'm ambitious. So.
I wish you success. Thank you very much for this first interview for Macedonian media.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.